The Walking Dead. We know them since childhood and even attended the same schools and same colleges and universities. We worked for the same companies and even shared the same passion in the same fields of our professions. We were there when they got married and even became life partners with some. We were there when their first child was born and even became godparents to some. We celebrated with them when they bought their first car and even warmed their first house. Everything in anything was normal within our cluster of close friends. We talked, laughed and cried together and protected each other with our own lives. Life plus was more than just life. We became the reason for life. This world was turning because we were there and made it happen. Us and them as in people was clearly defined and we knew our class and societal borders well. We walked on top of the world because we were top people in top class. Success in everything became our daily bread. We partied, celebrated and even shared our birthdays and anniversaries. We told them countless times about how much we loved and missed them, each time they disappeared from our timeline. They felt our heartbeats and received our love and reciprocated by giving it back, sevenfold. We called and checked each other through each hour of each passing day and even at midnight. Our bonds of love were stronger than the fiercest storm or hurricane. Time in our lives became just like all the common things we usually take for granted, sunrise, sunset and the dead of the night. They say life begins at 40, but I believe, real life begins at 21. Once you sail past 21, be assured that your real life countdown has just begun. From this point onwards, there will be no rescue if you slipped in the hush waters of life. Your world, which was once filled with countless admiring friends, thins out as you age and ebb closer to midlife crisis and aging self-isolation. Joyce Vincent was a beautiful young woman of 38 years old who lived in the UK. Joyce, like everybody else in this life of pain and sadness, once had and enjoyed the company of her colourful friends. She partied, attended all kinds of events and shows with her dear friends as ordinary people. Her friends defined life and the beauty of being loved and returned the same for them. It is reported that Joyce even had a chance of meeting and shook hands with our late President Nelson Mandela in 1990 at one of the benefit concert for a free South Africa, backstage. Well, if you happened to bump Joyce along the way and asked how she was feeling, she'd have said, "Life is great, I'm feeling so happy and fulfilled, and thanks for asking." Would you suspect or detect anything wrong in her jovial answer? No, I wouldn't as well. Suddenly, Joyce Vincent, for unknown reasons, began to withdraw herself from family and circle of friends till everybody on her timeline unwittingly wrote her off. Joyce, like millions of like people around the world, she never shared with anybody her reasons to withdraw from life. She just kept walking slowly and let everyone else pass her until she was left alone behind the crowd of 7 billion people in the world. Her sad story was first published in the Mirror. I read it back then and got rattled a bit but not fully surprised since hers was not unique historically, until I read the repeat on Facebook today. Sad but true, Joyce Vincent was found dead in her London government flat more than 2 years later. She'd apparently died from asthma attack in 2001 and discovered still laying in her sofa with TV blurring in 2003. Joyce took her secret to withdraw from life and family to her grave. It's never easy to detect these sublime signs of withdrawals from people closest to you and becomes impossible to trace the source for this mysterious withdrawal disease. In this world of 7 billion citizens, we're surrounded by millions of such people, the walking dead. You be inside a train when suddenly, you notice the other person opposite, staring at you. You try to look the other way in attempt to ward off their petrifying stares, but the stare continues to bite on you. Try and make faces to distract this scary and unwanted attention, but that person still won't budge. Hello, this guy ain't looking at you as you suppose. He's way deep inside his parallel world of self-isolation. These victims once lived and survived by association with others and later withdrew themselves to die by disassociation. It is an incurable disease of personal choice. Daily, I pray the Lord, my soul to keep and to help keep my steps in sync with God. I have learned not to depend on other people for my survival, because the same people you counted as friends and pillars for your life are subject to abandon your ship without further notice. It's okay if my kids don't miss me anymore, nor feel the need to pick up a phone and say, "Hello Tata, we miss you," and felt the need to ask you, "How are you doing today?" I lost my mom and dad when I was between the ages of 8 and 10 years. But, you know what? I still miss my parents right to this day. The odds of being missed by your children when you're dead stands at 0 to million, if they never felt the need to even call and check on you while you had your breath. What will change their minds after your death? I pray to God to revive all the walking dead among us and let them discover their right footing with the rest of humanity. Go thy way, eat thy bread with joy, and drink thy wine with a merry heart, cried King Solomon.